the coalition, with our amendments being supported, will look to pass this bill. And I can't say I do it with a feeling of overwhelming joy. I do it with considerable despair because, unlike when those in government were the opposition and stood in the way of all the reforms that were suggested by us when we were in government, when we were referred to as pearl-clutching kabuki players because we mentioned sustainability issues and we're trying to address them, yet we're blocked at every step, even though this had always been a bipartisan scheme. There does need to be reform. I'm not filled with confidence this is the best first step, that this is an appropriate first step. I think there are elements of it that will be good. I am very keen, and I've said to the Minister, and I have repeated ad nauseum for years, that there are too many people on the scheme. There are kids that shouldn't be, the kids that do not have permanent and lifelong, and parents that are diagnosis shopping, and they shouldn't be on the scheme. And quite frankly, it's insulting to those of us with kids that genuinely need it. It's insulting that kids who have been to a number of paediatricians, got a developmental delay, get an autism level 2 diagnosis and are given a package of, say, $25,000, to know that we now have kids with level 3 autism and intellectual disability currently, and it's being used by the agency. Obviously, we only get this anecdotally, that the agency staff are already saying to them, because of the new legislation, they're having their plans cut. And so kids with level 3 autism, kids with intellectual disability that are going to have serious and lifelong impairments are having their plans cut to exactly the same level of these other children with autism, kids with autism being absolutely used and abused through the press, that there's too many of them. And there are, because not all of them have what would have been considered autism in the old days. The new DSM-5 has done more damage than I can even begin to imagine, with its levels of autism and removal of so many other diagnoses and disorders. And so for the families of children with severe and profound autism, for the families of children who you are the quiet voices here because you are just trying to make it through every day. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry that this scheme is letting you down. And I don't know if this is going to help. I'm not filled with confidence that this government is going to be able to deliver these reforms. But we will not stand in the way of them, and we hope that this is just the first tranche of what needs to be genuine reform, because this scheme is too important for the people that need it. For the people whose lives were changed when this scheme came into being, who live in fear every day that they will be forced back into block-funded group home accommodation, that their loved ones will not receive any care or quality of life, because that's what used to happen. And our kids were treated like they were less than human. And it's starting to happen again. And it's starting to happen again because providers are rorting the system, because the agency is unable to determine differences between broad diagnosis, because co-design, which we consistently hear, so often isn't the voices that really need to be heard, because those people don't have the chance to speak up. Their parents are just trying to get through every day. Their parents are trying to do the best for their child, and there are voices that do not experience impairments at the same level. There are voices that have physical disabilities and can speak up, while those with cognitive disorders cannot. Those with intellectual disability cannot. And sometimes co-design does more damage than good, because those voices are forgotten. And so I would implore the government, when they talk about co-design, they talk about people who genuinely need this scheme, and they talk to the people that need it for the rest of their lives, and the people who are struggling day by day and don't often have the platforms to be able to say what needs to be said. So we will support this. Please get it right. Please do more. Please work constructively with us to do more, to make sure that people aren't left behind, that this scheme is there for the people who really, really need it going forward, because it's too important.